Joining us now is retired Major General David Fraser, our CTV military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan. General, thank you for joining us as always. Let's talk about Israel and the ground offensive that it looks like they are preparing for. I guess the question is, what are they waiting for? And if it does go ahead, what can be expected?
Well, Roger, Israel is being very careful about what they're doing about the ground offensive because of the civilians there. They've announced their intentions, which is indicative of the due diligence they want to put here. They've identified two routes, safe routes for the evacuation from the northern part of Gaza. And they've also taken out one of the Hamas leaders who was perpetrating the attack in the last week. So Israel is conducting intelligence. It's assessing what's going on the ground because they know if they attack Gaza now and they start killing a lot of civilians, the world will turn on Israel. And I think what we're seeing is a very conscious decision and a measured decision from Israel to wait until the conditions are ready for, so they are only attacking Hamas and not just Palestinians.
And I guess also they also want to try and protect their soldiers. Obviously not totally possible, but try to protect their soldiers as much as possible as well.
Well, absolutely. And again, while this is going on, there is a huge intelligence apparatus that is being executed right now to give the Israeli leaders and including the soldiers as much situational awareness of what's going on in the northern part shown on the map here, of what's going on in that area so that they can actually refine their plans. And when they do attack, they attack with certainty and minimize the risk to their own soldiers, the risk to Palestinians, and focus their attention on destroying Hamas.
Now, can that intelligence be trusted in the wake of what appears to be an intelligence failure from last week?
Well, I think, in a word, yes, because whatever the failures were that led up to the attack, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, this is a black eye for Israel, so they've probably already gone back and done an initial scrub to say, okay, what didn't happen that allowed this to materialize, and what can we do next so we don't make the same mistake twice. Israelis will learn very quickly from this situation. And so, yes, I think their intelligence, they've got at least two different intelligence task forces, different agencies working together. This will be a much better effort on the Israelis.
And let's talk a little bit about the evacuation order from the Israelis for people in Gaza. I think 1 million people is what they're expecting to move. Is that realistic? And what happens if they don't go?
The question of whether or not it's realistic is important, but for the Israelis, it's only a detail. And the detail is get those people out of the way. They want to go and fight Hamas. They want to destroy the infrastructure that Hamas used to get into Israel. The fact is, in such a small area, only two evacuation routes. The logistical nightmare to get 1 million people out is monumental. And in the timeline that the Israelis given them, which they've just extended, it's not realistic, but at the same time, it puts enough pressure on the Palestinians, on Hamas, to giddy up and go and get them out of there, because Israel won't wait forever on this one. But they're also being a little bit careful that they don't get ahead of the cart and actually turn a war against them and the rest of the Muslim world against them.
And how concerning are the skirmishes we are seeing along the Lebanese border?
Well, I think this is a real concern for Israel, that what they want to do is make sure they have one area of focus. They don't want to turn this on that they're fighting on three different fronts, up in the north with Hezbollah, the West Bank, and Gaza. At the same time, they don't want to turn the rest of the Muslim world against them. So it's also interesting that we're seeing Russia, the deputy foreign minister, getting involved. We're seeing China and the United States talking. It's all about trying to focus and keep this situation from escalating any more so than what it is today. So a lot of stuff is going on to try to contain this war.
Retired Major General David Fraser, our CTV military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan. Thank you as always.
Roger, thank you.